I'm still learning. I'm still trying to grow my career. I'm still trying to better myself. And the best way to do that is learn from these people who have had these years and years of experience. And not one person's journey is the same. So hearing how every single person got there, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Welcome, everyone, to the Closing Table Podcast, real accounts from real estate professionals from across the country, brought to you by WindowStill. I'm your host, Kat Schooler, and today I am sitting down with TJ George. TJ is a real estate agent with the Karen Wybrew project in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. TJ, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. This is
Well,
cool.
yeah, sorry. Thanks for taking the time to be with us. So let's start at the beginning. We have something in common, if I'm not mistaken. We both went to Michigan State. Yeah, go
Yes,
green.
go green, go white. Absolutely.
Heck yeah. So you got a degree in communications, right?
This is correct.
Take us from there. Like, what made you go into communications? What did you do with it after the fact?
Yeah, so I mean, communications. I was a transfer student into Michigan State University. I for my first 2
Okay,
years.
me too.
Yeah, for first, so even more in common. What do you know?
Twins.
Twins. For the first 2 years, I went and played baseball at Grand Rapids Community College, with always the hopes of going to Michigan State University. And then when I applied in, that was kind of the school that had the most credits. When I got in there, one of my really good friends, he was in the communications major as well, but the sales minor had just opened up. So I ended up going into the sales minor as well, because that's sort of what I wanted to pursue is sales in some aspect. I didn't know exactly how that would play out, but you always kind of find out after the fact. I just knew that I wanted to be in sales.
Awesome. And so then, because I, just read up on your LinkedIn, then you did move into a sales position, right? That was kind of your first career path
Yes.
in more in like product sales. Yeah.
I was in product sales. So I sold Tektronix Industries, which is Milwaukee Power Tools, Ryobi Power Tools, Rigid Power Tools. I'd be stationed sort of in the Home Depots of sort of the region. So like I was actually in Detroit. So in Detroit, I had Rochester Hills, Auburn Hills. God, I honestly forget. It was so long ago. Lake Orion, Troy. Did I say Rochester already? But neither here nor there. But it basically, I'd go to the Home Depot. I'd set up all sort of the tools. I'd do sort of like these presentations with the power tools for the associates. And they brought me back to Lansing from Detroit like a year into it. And from there, I met with Karen because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I wasn't loving sort of what I was doing, but at the same time, I loved sales and still had a passion for sales and growing business. And I met with Karen, and we just had such a fun, great conversation. And we continued that conversation. And the next thing you know, she was saying, "Hey, I would love for you to come work with me." And for me, that's a tremendous opportunity. Karen is the best mentor that you could ask for to get into real estate. And I'm just so very lucky that she took the time to have those conversations with me. And those are really the two jobs that I've had since college. And gosh, when did I graduate? Like 2015? So long ago. It's crazy.
We were there at the same time.
Were we?
We did. I'm sure we passed each other in the caf. Yeah. That's so cool.
That's funny.
Well, I'm so glad you were able to find an awesome mentor in Karen. How did you like initially find her office and even just kind of get sparked into real estate?
Again, sort of a small world situation is me and Karen's son, Wilson. So Wesley's on our team too, and he's one of Karen's sons. He's a great agent, fantastic. And me and Wilson, her other son, my age, have kind of been best friends since like high school. So she would drive me to sporting events in her little car, and she'd be taking phone calls all the time, and I'd just be sitting in the back having no idea that this was going to be my future life and career, you know. But so I just started. I asked her. I was like, "Hey, could we grab a bite to eat, get some lunch? I would love to pick your brain. I'm trying to sort of figure out what my next step is in my career. what I want to do. But sort of when I got back into the Lansing area, I did have a lot of people that I knew and a lot of people that I talked to. I didn't think that Karen was going to even offer me a position at all. I didn't know that that's how that conversation would go. I was just talking to sort of see what she thought about the real estate industry. I wanted to sort of get insight with her. I didn't know that that's how this would all play out. Um, so when she said, TJ, like, I'd love for you to work with me, I was like, sold. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Like, I couldn't ask for a better representative, and she's fantastic. She's been doing this for 30 plus years, and for me just to sort of have her as my boss, my mentor, there's never been something that I don't feel confident going into because she's dealt with it. Like having somebody there to sort of guide you, and she lets me figure things out for my own as well. But and because no two people are the same, you have different solutions for different problems. But she's there as a guiding hand, and I couldn't ask for, again, a better mentor, a better friend. She's amazing. I can't say enough kind words about Karen. She's the best.
Oh, that's wonderful. And there's such a beautiful like lesson in there. Like you didn't go into this, lunch expecting to get a job. You just went in asking, a resource in your community for advice, and it bloomed into something so much more. And I think that's so cool. And the takeaway there is, right, just like lean on the people around you that are doing what you want to be doing.
Yeah, when they sent me back to Lansing, it was like a blessing in disguise because um, I just have so many different connections here. I don't know if you know this or not, but my mom coached volleyball at Michigan State University for 17 plus years, the all-time winningest
Oh,
coach at Michigan
cool.
State University. Um, and and that's very great for me because I have a lot of people that I know within the university, and I can have sort of some lunches and lean on people, and it's to learn. It's really just getting out there. How did you get your business started? How did you grow your sort of profile, and just sitting there and learning. I'm not asking for anything. I just want knowledge and growth. Um, Especially then, I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to grow my career. I'm still trying to better myself, and the best way to do that is learn from these people who have had these years and years of experience. And not one person's journey is the same. So hearing how every single person got there, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Wow, we're really getting to the good part, and I can't wait for you to hear what comes next. But first, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to make sure you're following the Closing Table podcast wherever it is you get your podcasts. Also, please leave us a comment or review. It is the best no cost thing you can do for the podcast, and it helps us find more awesome listeners like you. While I have you, I'd also like to highlight our sponsor. WindowStill provides premium real estate media for agents, builders, and property management companies nationwide. To learn more, visit windowstill.com. WindowStill, helping America find their next chapter. Now, back to the episode. That is so cool. So, what is maybe one of the biggest lessons you've learned from a mentor, or maybe that you learned yourself the hard way, kind of just going through this journey?
There's so many different lessons to pick up on. I think lessons are don't don't cash your checks before they actually happen. You know, things don't always play out. Even if you have a good feeling that they will work out, don't think. Make it happen. Provide action. Provide service. The and then something that we really believe here at the Karen Wybrew Project is if you're providing high quality service, you're not looking for the result. You're not result oriented, you're process oriented. And that will lead to better results because if we're doing the correct processes, that will lead to greater client satisfaction. If I'm only there for sort of the reward at the end, the check after the deal is closed, I'm not providing my best service. I need to make sure that I'm there from start to finish, providing the best possible process for my client that I can. So that's really, I think, being more process oriented than results oriented. And if you do that, the results are they're going to shake themselves out.
I love that. My husband's an engineer. He's always talking about process. So once you said process, I was like, oh, this is it. Um, Along that lines, right? Your clients are very product oriented, right? They want to get in the house or they want to sell their house. How do you kind of guide them through the process, which is sometimes long, sometimes short, but how do you kind of temper their expectations?
I mean, that's a tough one, especially in today's market. You just never know what's going to happen. Some houses you get on the market and you get a ton of showings, and you're going to have multiple offers like that. The deal's done. But you have buyers as well, and sometimes those buyers are going to go through sort of these ups and downs where they're going to be really upset with me, and it's because they're not getting the house sold, they're not getting the results that they want. But again, as long as you sort of stick to the process, we have game plans, we have sheets, we have first time homebuyer guidebooks. And me, when I first meet these clients, either via phone call, FaceTimes, Zoom calls, whatever that is, I temper these expectations. Um, we're not always going to get what we want. I'm not going to be the agent that's going to say, you need to offer X amount. I want to do what's best for you in your situation. And no two-person situation is the same. So it always depends, but we're going to go through the process, which is the first time home buyer's guide. We're going to say this isn't going to be, I'm going to look at a house for the first time, you're going to fall in love, and we're going to get the offer. There's going to be some heartbreak around the way, but I promise the more you see, the better you know, the more we view, the better idea of what's going to happen. And sometimes also for sellers, we're not going to get the results that we want. And sometimes sellers, especially in today's market where you're seeing multiple offers and you're getting over the price top bids, that's not going to happen for every single house. And you need those are the toughest sort of expectations to manage right now. But you're able to do that again if you're open, you're honest, and you're giving them tough but real conversations at the beginning. So that's we don't want to walk into something where they don't have the same belief and we're not on the same page.
That makes sense. I think sometimes it's just making sure you're on the same page from go is just the foundation for success.
100%. I couldn't agree more because if I go in there and I'm like, oh, we're gonna get multiple offers, this is gonna be awesome. We're gonna list at 200,000, but we're gonna get 260, and then all of a sudden it's crickets. I'm fired. That's not gonna work out. Like that's not a good idea. So you got to manage expectations. We sort of have a set guideline of the amount of showings that we want to see in the first 2 weeks, and how many showings it takes to really get an offer. And so by that, we're managing expectations at the beginning, so that people aren't surprised by the results at the end. That's what we like to do.
That's great. Speaking of your clients, do you have kind of any memorable client moments or stories?
I mean, there's a lot, and they're all different, right? Um, Different clients are happy because they're able to sort of get in, build their dream house. A lot of the Eastbrook homes that we do, so we're subcontracted by Eastbrook Homes to provide new home builds in in College Fields, White Hills, Thomas Farms and DeWitt, Bonnie Meadows and Hazlet, and a lot of those are some really cool stories where they've really missed out on a lot of homes, and now that they get this opportunity to build their dream house, we do these things where they get to mark up their house. And yeah, I don't want to like sort of overstep my boundaries of sort of my client's privilege, but there was a sick family member, and they went into the house, into the drywalls before the drywall came on, and in markers they marked the house with sort of with prayers, happy thoughts. And so then the drywall's all down, but they know like in behind that drywall that there's these prayers and happy thoughts for their sick family member. And as of now, the family member is in really good shape. So it was really cool, and not everything works out like that, but that was a really cool moment for us to sort of be a part of. But yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Oh my gosh, I just got chills.
that one was that one was cool. That wasn't me directly, but that was Karen, and she told us the story, and I was like, this is unbelievable.
That's cool because there is you read stories. There's history of people, with different belief systems putting things in walls, whether it's maybe to ward off bad spirits or things like that, in older homes. But you don't really hear about people doing that in 2024.
We are
But
now
that is
doing that
so
for every
cool.
Eastbrook home. So if you want to come in and you're building your house, every single person, because the story got told to the people up top at Eastbrook, and they were like, all right, let's do this. Let's mark up your house. That's what it's now called. So before the drywall meeting, you get a key to the house so you can go in and you can mark it up however you want. It's a really cool thing. And then there's just so many times that you're just rooting for your clients. You've been through just battles where you're getting outbid, you're getting overbid, and then all of a sudden the right house comes up and you're the top candidate and you get the house for your clients and you're just over here just like, oh my gosh, could this have worked out any better? And I think it's always about timing. And you don't want to rush yourself into a situation. Just because you've lost out on 10 houses doesn't mean you should offer a crazy amount for the 11th, just because it's the 11th house. You should offer it because you love it. And I think, again, by managing expectations, knowing that you shouldn't be running left and right, offering X, Y, or Z, like offer what you want. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And I think that's really led to a lot of great reviews. If you look at our sort of website, you'll see a lot of really strong reviews because we do a good job of, again, managing expectations and making sure that they're getting the situation that they want.
What are some of the other things maybe that you're doing to go above and beyond for your clients? Because I love this story about marking up the walls, love notes, prayers, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
them. What I love is it's like a secret, right? Nobody's going to paint over it,
Mhm.
right? It's not your heights on the door trim that when you leave is going to be gone forever. So that is, gosh, that's so special. But maybe like, what are some of the other things? Because I know that Karen Wybrew project is so highly rated. Some of the other things you guys do to go above and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, we spare no expense, and we work pretty hand in hand with WindowStill here, especially for our listings. We have a lot of work there because you know pretty much I was thinking about this sort of today before we had sort of our sit down and what we do and we want to make sure that you get not only the best experience but the most eyes on your house if we list it. And by sort of, yeah, there's some houses that you could just put a front door for sale sign and you're going to get an offer. But you're not going to get the top offer unless you use the best photos, the best marketing, and by doing that and sparing no expense, you're going to get better results for your clients. And we think of different marketing ideas, whether that be drone photos, neighborhood maps, um, multiple open houses, broker open houses. There's just so many things. TikTok videos, reel videos. There's different things that we do to try and be creative. But again, no one house is the same. So we got to figure out different plans for that house. If it's a unique house, we're going to have a unique setup. Um, so it all depends. But we don't want to sort of put one house into a box. We want to make sure that we're over here like we don't have the same cookie cutter process. We every single house is different, so we got to adjust to every single different house. On the buying side, I mean, we think of all different ways to try and get your offer accepted, especially if there's multiple offer situations. And we always are looking for different ways to show that our offer is better. Writing in different things into the offer, finding out sort of some different things that the seller's looking for. It might not always be price. A lot of the times it is price, but if you're at the same price, which a lot of these multiple offers are going to, on one house I had 17 offers, crazy number. 12 of them wrote the same price.
Hmm.
How do you pick? And that's the difference between when you write with us. Like we might have the same offer price, but we're gonna give you the best benefits. that's going to lead us to being the selected offer. Uh, and I can't say exactly what those benefits are going to be, you know, but it's finding that out, digging, doing the extra work for the client to sort of put them in the best spot to win the offer. And again, it whatever happens happens, and you just got to make sure that you feel comfortable and you feel happy about the situation in the process.
That's really interesting you say about a home getting a dozen of the same offer, and yeah, how do you pick? And I think maybe a lot of people don't realize that maybe their agent could be doing something more to incentivize other than price. So I think that's a great thing to point out.
Yeah, I mean that's something that we point out with our buyers agents. I mean our buyers, we're the buyers agents, but for our buyers, and I don't love. I'm not like somebody who likes to brag, but we do have a high year-to-date volume this year. We've had very high year-to-date volumes for the last couple years. We were over 40 million 2 years in a row, and for the first what to we're in April, so 4 months, and we're already past 20 million in closed year to date. So we're going to hit 40 million again this year, and that occurs by providing great service and getting your offer accepted. And a lot of the times we might not be the highest priced offer, but we're getting the deals closed, and that's a huge step in knowing that your agent can provide close. If you want the deal, we will give you our best shot at getting the deal, and we might lose, but we'll eventually win. We'll get it done.
That's excellent. What are some of your goals for this year?
Yeah, personally, I want to do more, more each year. But I try to be reasonable. I want to do 5 to 10 more closings than I did last year. So I want to get to, I don't know. I don't have them all written down, and I don't love talking about them all that much. But as a team, our goal was over 45 million. We've readjusted, and we want to go over 50 because of we've had such a strong start that we believe that we can do that. Um, but yeah, that's really our goal as a team, is to get over 50 million, and I definitely believe that's achievable this year, and especially if we continue providing the great client service, and the reason we also can be successful as great client service is that allows referrals. They did such a great job. They walked us through this process, and hand in hand together, we got more than we ever thought we could. Or they helped us. We went against 7 different offers, and we were the one that came out on top. You should work with them, and that's really what leads you to your success. But yeah, I'm hopeful to grow my personal by 2 million year closed, and to have about 10 more transactions than the previous year.
That's great. I think those are great goals to have. And yeah, that referral is so important. And even, getting that written review, right, is so important. And I really feel like to get a lot of written reviews, which you guys do have, you even have to be like better than good. You like have to be great,
Yeah.
for someone to sit down and do that, right? Because like, oh, it's very easy for me to tell my friends and family like, oh, TJ's great. Definitely work with TJ. But it takes like a little bit more time to like sit down and write a review. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I mean,
But
think about how many times you write a review for a restaurant after you go, or when you buy a car. And I get emails from where I bought my car all the time for review on service. If I get an oil change, like everybody's asking for a review. How often do you stop and sort of take that review? Unless that service was beyond good, as you just said, I'm usually not stopping to write that review. Um, I've done it more because I keep asking people for reviews, so I'm like, I should give them a review. So I try to give back in hopes that karma comes and gives me some more reviews.
certainly, I feel like entrepreneurs are the ones out here reviewing other entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've never once reviewed my oil change. And I'm sorry, Firestone, but I don't think it's going to change.
But yeah, I mean, those are just sort of the ones that come to my mind. But the amount of times that I leave a review is it really wasn't that often until now. I'm asking for so many reviews that I'm like, okay, I should probably give reviews back.
Totally. Um, and then like non-career related, like what are some things you're looking forward to this year?
Non-career. So I'm coming up on my year anniversary of my wedding, which was back in July last year. So
Oh,
1 year of marriage.
congratulations.
Thank you very much. And we are going to be taking a trip to Europe. So I'm very excited about that. So that's something that I'm very much looking forward to. Um, yeah, personal. That's really about it. But um, I don't know.
Well, that's awesome. No,
Yeah,
who doesn't want to go to Europe?
yeah.
You're gonna have a great time.
I've never been. She's never been. We're going with a couple of our friends who are so their anniversary is in September. Ours is in July, and we're going in August. So we split it right down the middle. So
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, I'm
Well,
really looking
that's
forward to
so
that.
cool. I hope you have a great time and do all the touristy stuff. 'Cause you got to do it once, right?
If I'm going someplace, I'm going to be a tourist. Like
Yeah.
I am a tourist. So what's the problem with being a tourist? Like let me go do my touristy thing. Like yeah, I've got no problem with it.
That's so cool. Well, TJ, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. Would you like to direct people how they can find you, how they can work with you?
Yeah, you can go to the KarenWybrewProject.com on our website. You can go to Google. You can search us. We're we're around. You can always, yeah, that's where I'll say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll link it in the show notes so
Yeah,
people
yeah,
can find you and work
that'd be
with you all.
great. Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Well, thank you, TJ, so much. And thank you all for listening. This has been The Closing Table brought to you by WindowStill. I'm Kat Schooler. If you're enjoying this podcast, please make sure you are following us on Apple and Spotify and subscribed on YouTube. If you do subscribe on our YouTube, let me know. Put in the comments, I've subscribed, and I will personally respond to each and every one of your comments. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time.